What's good, my lovely peoples? It's your main man Solace here, the humble servant of the life. Today I have a good video for y'all. I want to break down Revelations chapter 13, verse 2. Now, if you're not a Christian, that is alright, because I'm not either. If you are a Christian, go get your Bible, go to Revelations 13, 2. I'm about to break down something very heavy. Now, a brother likes the way I break everything down through life. So he wanted me to break this down for him and how it correlates to the life. So, I'm going to read the verse. Revelation chapter 13, verse 2. It says, "And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet was as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat in great authority." So now the brother wanted to know, how does that correlate with real life? So I told him it does, brother. Give me your phone. Let me show you what that means. So I pulled up this for him, and I told him, this is the beast in Revelations 13:2. It is unto like a leopard. It has the feet of a bear and the mouth of a lion. So I said that is the beast in Revelations 13:2. Now he wanted to know, why is that animal in Revelations and what does it has to do with the end times? Now, this is what y'all have to understand. Everything written in Revelations is speaking of land. Land, it is speaking of places that were empowered, in other places that they will give power to. So this animal dwells in a certain place, and it was letting the person the message was intended for know what place it was. So you have to understand, in Revelations, the saints wrote these letters to churches that were in these places in power, warning them of the end times and what was to come. Now they wrote it in this way just in case messengers read it, they would have them killed and those that it was intended for. So it was kind of like a secret message, and this is why it was written in that way. So now we have to grasp. The saints were killed. Jesus was killed. But the problem is, Christians are waiting on the end times to still come. They don't understand that this happened already. The end times passed. We live in after those times. Now let me help you to grasp. See, you have some scientists that believe Jesus was born and died in AD times, meaning 1 AD to 33 AD. You have other scientists that believe he was born and died in BC times, at the ends. And then you have other scientists that believe he was born in BC but died in AD. Now, what y'all must grasp is there was a gap in time between 1 BC and 1 AD, because men do not tell time in that manner, meaning you go from 1 BC to 1 AD. And that gap in time is what the prophets were prophesying about, basically explaining that these places would be in power and they would bring about the demise of men, the end times. So now you have to grasp. When you hear in Revelations they speak of the great dragon Satan ruling for 1,000 or 2,000 years, then Jesus coming and ruling for 1,000 or 2,000 years. This is breaking down the duality. You will have 1,000 or 2,000 years of men being in there, Satan knowing things, having technology, and ruling over one another. And in this, they will bring about their own demise and will have to start from scratch. And that scratch will be the Jesus times, the times of peace, because there's very little people and everybody needs everybody. So now you have lions laying with lamb, starting from scratch. And 1 AD is basically just when people begin to keep track of time again, and this is the beginnings of them being in their Satan again. So, as opposed to a Christian waiting on the end times to come, you must understand we are in our times now and we are reaching our end times where men have reached technology and we're on the verge of destroying ourselves any day now. It is a matter of a man pressing a button in another country because we have nuclears and atom bombs and things that could destroy us all. It's just a matter of one country pressing the button. So we are at those end times now, but this is in our times and those times past, and we need to pull knowledge from that to understand where we are. See, you have to understand, Jesus was basically pumping that you don't need a religion. You can have a relationship with the mighty all, the life. And this is why he was killed. Him, his saints, and everybody else. And they were just merged into the religion to make the religion more strong. So it's like me, I'm against religion. Now imagine 2,000 years from now, I am the face of religion. Ain't that some shit? So we just must grasp how this go. The 1,000 years of peace in heaven already came. This was in the blank spot in time between 1 BC and 1 AD. Once men begin to start keeping track again of time, off into Satan, and now we are at the ends of those times, coming into our Jesus times, or the good times, where there are very few men because they killed themselves, and now they must start from scratch. So it's a deep thing we must grasp and get understanding when we are reading things, why knowing the life is important. Because you don't use the book to understand life, and that's what y'all doing. You're supposed to use life to understand a book so you can gain knowledge. And this is why they call me the smartest mother on the planet. Now, I want to do this video for y'all, but I don't know if y'all are at a level to grasp things. Y'all still goofy in y'all childish nature. Y'all don't know how to receive a thing. But I want to break down to y'all how clouds in the sky are truly lands of ice in the sky. Basically, ice lands in the sky. See, a cloud is developing into that. But every day the sun rises and it begins to evaporate and melt the cloud. And this is how you get rain, hail, things of this nature. But a cloud is basically you witnessing land materializing. From vapor to gases to liquids to solid. But the sun interferes with that every day, and this is how you get rain and things. But if the sun didn't shine, it would completely turn to a landmass of ice in the sky. Now we must understand Antarctica is that. Don't get lost in pseudo, because he with knowledge knows Antarctica is the highest elevated continent, meaning it is already in the sky in correlation to the other continents. So when the water levels was low, Antarctica would have been in the sky. So grasp what I'm saying. It's not crazy. You must grasp. This is why in ancient Greece they always had the gods sitting in clouds. Now they choose to enslave their people by basically saying they were the living descendants of the gods of up above, which would have been the constellations. So they basically used astrology to enslave the people by saying those big giant people up above that we call stars, we are the living descendants of them here on earth, and y'all are to worship us. So this is how that simply worked. Now, when they spoke of the gods living and residing in the clouds, they were speaking of Antarctica. Sea level was lower then. Antarctica was always elevated higher than other continents. It would have appeared to be in the clouds. And